celebrating tonight. Because tonight isn't just about Brexit. It isn't about leaving the EU. It's about celebrating our democracy. Because when 11 p.m. comes, that isn't the end of Brexit. It's just the start. Everything's stuck together. It's the start, though, of something wonderful. The rebirth of our democracy, the kick-starting of our economy, a new optimism, a new self-belief, a new vision for a 21st century Britain as a proud, independent nation-state once again. We're going to forge new friendships and alliances with countries around the globe. And yes, just across the channel too. Don't boo. And now, for me, I've got to say, today has been a mixture of joy, relief, and pride. Joy that we can at last control our own destiny. Relief that we finally, after all those battles, we got here today. And pride, so much pride, that the British people stood firm in the face of everything that's been thrown in them. They thought they could scare us into voting the right way. They thought they could insult us into changing our minds. Did we flinch? No, we did not. They also thought that they could, well, they could convince us, they could scare us. God, these bloody pieces of paper. They thought they could fool us into accepting a pretend Brexit in name only. They thought they could trick us into a second referendum, offering a choice between Remain and Remain Light. Were we fooled? They thought we could use the courts and every single trick in the parliamentary rulebook to try to overturn the referendum result. But did we give up? No. We stood firm. We refused to believe their lies. We refused to take no for an answer. We refused to be ignored. Today, more than 3.5 years after our votes were counted in June 2016, our voices have finally been heard. And we will never be silenced again. There are so many amazing people who made this day happen. Not just the household names like Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson, but 17.4 million people in households up and down the country. You, me, everyone here, lots of people watching. And those people, no matter what was thrown at them, never lost their faith. They never stopped believing that democracy would triumph in the end. I, tonight, have never been prouder to be a Brexiteer, and I've never been prouder to be British. Happy Brexit Day, everyone.
Thank you, Julia. Isn't she wonderful? Whoa! Julia Hartley-Brewer, thank you very much indeed. We've only half an hour left, ladies and gentlemen, before the big moment. But please now, again, she's a businesswoman and from the world of media. She works for the Pledge for Sky TV. Please give a huge welcome, Michelle Dewberry.
Thank you. Good evening. Wow, what a turnout. And I tell you what, if you'd have read some of the newspapers today, apparently tonight was going to be a damp squib. Apparently people were not going to turn out, but turn out you have. Many of you have been standing here in the freezing cold and the pouring rain, so well done you. The 31st of January 2020. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a significant moment in history. And as a Brexiteer, it was a moment that I never actually thought at some point was going to happen. Because fighting for this moment has taken courage, it's taken strength, and it's taken resilience. Because us Brexiteers, we have been called names, we have been dismissed, we have been undermined, and we have been criticised. And tonight, we come together. We finally have got our wish, which is to stay in Europe, but to leave the EU. And we did it! We did it! And as you look around the Parliament Square, you'll see some statues. And among them, you will see leaders, previous leaders of countries from, believe it or not, outside of the EU. We've got places like India, US, the South Africa, and it's a timely reminder that there is a world outside of the EU. And in that world is a world of opportunity. And after 11 o'clock tonight, there will be no such thing as leavers and remainers. Because after 11 o'clock tonight, we are all leavers. Yes, we are. And I will keep this very simple. And I think we should end on a nice note with a 3 cheers to our future of opportunity, to our freedom, and to the fact that democracy prevailed. So let's have 3 cheers to leaving the EU and our future. Hip hip! Hip hip! And one last one, hip hip! Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is not about those people in that building over there. It is not about the elites. It is not about the establishment. It is about you guys and the 17.4 million people that fly their flags and celebrate our independence and our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. What a fantastic, fantastic speech. Uplifting, positive, enthusiastic. And our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, he's also fought for decades to leave the European Union. He was often a lone figure in the House of Commons. During the referendum campaign, he created and ran the group Grassroots Out. He's without question got the brightest, most garish tie in the House of Commons. Please give a massive welcome, Mr. Peter Bone, MP.
Wow! Wow, what a wonderful evening. In less than an hour, we're going to leave the European Union superstate. I've been waiting 30 years for this. The establishment wanted to keep us in a costly, undemocratic and wasteful federal Europe. 2 million people from the EU came and lived and stayed in this country whether we wanted them or not. We gave the European Union more than £211 billion. And what did we get in return for it? Nothing! But tonight, we end the free movement of people. We stop paying the European Union billions and billions of pounds each and every year. We will make our own laws in our own country, judged by our own judges. Tonight, we take our country back. But can I for a moment just take you back to December 2015? At that time, the establishment said we must stay in Europe. David Cameron and the government said we must stay in Europe. The Labour Party said we must stay in Europe. And of course, the BBC said we must stay in Europe. Tom Purslove, the MP for Corby, Councillor Helen Harrison and myself thought, we British people want to leave. Let's have a grassroots campaign to get us out. And that's how we formed Go. And we met a whole lot of extraordinary people during that campaign who agreed to put their political differences to one side. We had the great Kate Hoey from Labour, the superb Grand Stringer from Labour. We had the embodiment Sammy Wilson from the DUP. We had the vocal Ian Paisley. We had 50 supportive Conservative MPs, including David Davis, Liam Fox and Jacob Rees-Mogg. But we had one other person. We had the legendary Nigel Farage. And I tell you that no single person has done more for Brexit than Nigel Farage. As Tom and I and Helen toured the country, we went to England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and even Gibraltar. And when we went to the meetings, people took thousands and thousands of Go leaflets to deliver. They organised street stalls. They organised canvassing. And it's true that people like Kate, Sammy, myself, Helen, Tom, helped to deliver Brexit, and of course Nigel. But the real people, who I'm so very grateful for and to, were the individuals who from those grassroots out meetings went out and campaigned to deliver Brexit. I believe what they did made the difference between winning and losing that referendum. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we leave the European Union. And tonight we should celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you for everything that you've done. The hour is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get there, we've just got the Brexit All-Stars Band to entertain you before our final speaker, the one and only Nigel. The Brexit All-Stars.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Come on, people. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging apart with anyone, it's not unusual. You should want to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what this time, we'll find it happens all the time.
Remember, oh, yes, see me out the door, and every
2 mics, here we go.
I've taken my time and my curtain call. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all. There's been no better roses, no better.
Come on, people, get your hands in the air. Thank you.
What a fantastic band. What a great song. Give them a round of applause. Unbelievable. Thank you very much indeed. Well, not long now, ladies and gentlemen. There's about 16 minutes, 15 minutes. You head up. And of course, there's one person we've not yet heard from. I wonder who that is. He is, of course, the person who's fought the longest for this great cause. Over 25 years. He's had all sorts of abuse and vitriol and challenges, but his determination, his courage, his enthusiasm knows no bounds. It's been a huge privilege for me to work with him so closely for the last 18 months. And my word, we've had some ups and some exciting times and one or two challenges. But we've prevailed because without Nigel, as we all know, there would have been no referendum. Without Nigel, there would have been no Brexit. And without Nigel, there would have been no Brexit party. He's here now. He's with us. Give him a massive, massive welcome. He's a little bit shy sometimes, you know. Do we want Nigel? I can't hear you. Do we want Nigel? Here he is, the one and only, Mr. Nigel Farage. Good evening, London! In just 14 minutes' time, something truly remarkable is going to happen. Something that I've fought for 27 years. And something that many thousands of you gave your time, love, and money for. We faced an establishment that never even wanted to listen to us. An establishment that never wanted that referendum to take place. An establishment that has tried for 3.5 years to frustrate the will of the greatest democratic mandate ever seen in this country. But in 13 minutes' time, we will leave the European Union! And we did it! We did it! We've transformed the landscape of our country. And there are some that say we shouldn't celebrate tonight. Well, we are going to celebrate tonight, and we are celebrating tonight because we know that this is the single most important moment in the modern history of our great nation. That is what is happening tonight. And I think there's a lot to celebrate, don't you? The first thing to celebrate is that we will no longer have to listen to Mr. Juncker, to Mr. Guy Verhofstadt. No longer will our prime ministers be talked down to by unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. We should celebrate the fact that we are going to be able, across the road here, to make our own laws by people we can hold directly accountable in general elections. We we, in 11 minutes, become a democratic, self-governing, independent, and I hope, proud nation. And we should celebrate. We should celebrate that in 10 minutes' time, we're getting there, aren't we? 3.5 years was a long time. 10 minutes doesn't sound too bad to me. We should celebrate the fact that, freed from the constraints of the European Union, we once again will be able to find our place in the world. We are able to re-engage with the Commonwealth, with America, with our friends all over the world. It will be a But there's one thing above all that we must celebrate tonight, and it's this. The only reason we're here tonight is because Westminster became utterly detached from ordinary people in this country. And those people started to speak. Those people started to rise. Those people forced a referendum. Those people forced a general election. And those people, despite all the flaws in our system, for the first time in history, the people have beaten the establishment, and that we must celebrate. The real winner tonight, the real winner tonight is democracy. Democracy has won tonight. And I, as somebody who believes that we should be pro-Europe, but not pro the European Union, I believe we've now set an example for our friends right across the continent. I want a Europe of free, sovereign, democratic nations, and we'll trade with them, we'll work with them, we'll cooperate with them, we'll have reciprocity, but we will not take orders from them. I'm shy, but thank you. So we've got a lot to celebrate and a lot to look forward to. Now, I know there are big battles to come. I know there are people here concerned what happens with fisheries. People here concerned with whether the European Court of Justice will have a say in the future. People concerned about regulatory alignment. People concerned about whether we could be betrayed again. But remember this. Remember this. What happens now in 8 minutes' time? What happens in 8 minutes' time marks the point of no return. Once we have left, we are never, ever going back. And important though the rest of it is, the rest, in a sense, becomes detail. We will be free, we will be sovereign, we will be proud, we will be independent. We've won a very great victory. And you know, an amazing thing has happened today. Tony Blair. But I'm going to surprise you. I really am going to surprise you. Tony Blair has said today, there is no point looking back. We've made a decision. We are leaving the European Union, and we must work together to make it a success. How about that? How about that? A crowd of the Brexiteers cheer Tony Blair. How about that? Because what is happening is our country is now uniting. Our country is coming together. Nearly everybody, even Lord Mandelson this morning, accepted this is happening. There are some, of course, who struggle. This is the new 50p coin. And Lord Adonis, who, as somebody said earlier, who is he anyway? Lord Adonis says he won't use the new 50p coin, but you know what? People like him now look like members of the Flat Earth Society. The fact is that the war is over. We have won. And now we have in Boris Johnson, a charismatic Prime Minister who is saying all of the right things. All of the right things. I never believed I would ever see a Conservative Prime Minister say any of the right things. But he's saying all of the right things. And in many ways, our hopes and our trust are now bound up with what Boris Johnson does. We want him to keep to his promises. We want him to make us free. And I promise you that I and all of you will keep him, won't we? We will keep him to his promises. Who knows? I think there's a good chance he'll deliver. I think the Conservative Party learned a lesson in those European elections they never, ever want to repeat. So let us be optimistic. Let us think about the future of our great nation. Let us think about the example that we are giving to the rest of Europe and the free world as well. Let us celebrate tonight as we've never done before. You and all of us have made history, and this is the greatest moment in the modern history of our great nation. Thank you!
But this government, overwhelmingly backed with an 80-seat majority at the general election, believes that they promise that they have made, and the promise that the referendum vote in 2016 held out, they want to show to people as quickly as they can that it was worth it and it was the right thing to do. But with only 30 seconds to go, that question will be hanging for quite some time, and Boris Johnson faces a huge task, not to open English champagne tonight,
36 seconds.
to show to voters that they made the right decision by faith in him and his belief that this was the right choice for all of us.
20 seconds.
Heading off the sunset into unknown, Prime Minister, about unity of the country to come together.
Wow!
Two.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the national anthem.
One and two.
Gracious Queen, long live her noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been fantastic. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much indeed. Believe it or not, we're no longer a member of the European Union. And with that, I bid you a very good evening, a safe trip home, and a fantastic, wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
Saturday, but now we'll be open for different things. Then turned it is absolutely travesty of, you know, Parliament.
The first thing in the morning.
Where's the time? Fucking hell, dude. This is just a really bad time, man. Oh, fuck.